Okay, behind me is the cabin we bought in 2019 in Vasterbotten, Sweden, just in the Lapland region. We needed to have water supply, and we were looking at digging a well, which is going to cost about £10,000, when the cabin behind our property, this one here, came up for sale, and we got it for £7,000, and it includes the well. So this video is going to be a tour of the second cabin, £7,000 in 2020. So the cabin we bought, this is the access track. Probably about 100 yards up that track is the church car park, which is kept clear of snow and is immediately joined to the main road, the E12, that runs up through northern Sweden. So we're not far off the main road. We've been here in November, and I think in late October we had a foot of snow, and within a couple of hours people are clearing the road. It's really good. So this is the cabin I'm going to give you a tour of. I'll walk you up there now. So this is the plot. I think it's about 1,800 square metres. The whole property is surrounded in this large old stone wall. We think the cabin is about 80 to 90 years old. It was the original schoolhouse for the village. The plot extends to the land up there, which is next to the railway line. The railway is only used twice a day. A log train goes out empty in the morning and comes back full of logs every evening. So looking down, this is a stone wall. And what I'll do is I'll go to each corner of the property and show you a view back. So this is the corner just behind the house. You can just see the railway line just there. Here's the stone wall goes round. Looking back to our original cabin, there's a pile of wood I've cut down a couple of years ago. I will be processing that soon. And a look at the end view of the house. You can see it's made of thick logs, and that's sort of the inner layer. This has had its wood cladding removed, and you'll see where it's been partially removed on the other sides. A walk along the back of the property, along this wall, going past the house again. It's been made of sections of wood put together. It's like a double paned window. This pane has fell out. It was like that when we bought it. Nothing else has really changed in the 2 years we've had it. I'll go down to the far end now and show you back. You can see some of the outbuildings there as well. I'm at the far corner of the plot now, and behind me is the original toilet or outhouse, like a long drop toilet. And this is the area of the garden that's got the different sheds, wood sheds in there. I'll show the other side of the garden now. So from the far corner, we've got like a mini forest area. There is a big water tank, drainage tank within here. I'll show you that in a second. And this is looking back, so there's like a mini forest. There's the cabin, there's the outbuildings. In terms of size, what an 1,800 square metre plot feels like, it's sort of about 35 paces wide deep and about 50 paces long. So it's quite a big bit of land. It doesn't need much maintenance at all. This is just blueberries in here and little different types of berries. Of course, you've got your trees. Just have to look out for ones that are dying and have them cut down and removed. The main electricity supply to the two cabins comes straight through the woods. So one thing we're going to look at with the big cabin is make it off the grid, because there's a big possibility one day this electric will go down, and I'm sure it'll take quite a long time to restore. So this is the drainage tank. I discovered this by accident when I was sort of walking around in the ground and uncovered this. I'll lift the lid off now. It's quite heavy, so I'll just move it out of the way and show you what's inside. So probably 10 minutes later, I've managed to get the lid off of this chamber, this concrete chamber in the garden. You can see there's like a ring of concrete going down. Below is a load of gravel and sand that's been put in, and there's a pipe. That pipe joins up in the kitchen of the house, and I think this was the grey water drainage point, and the gravel acts as a filter and a filtration system before the water goes back into the ground. So here in the garden, the main reason we bought this property, the well. So here's the well, the original windy handle bucket system. Let's get my torch on. As you can see, it's a very deep well. You can see the bottom there. I think it's about 10 meters deep. There's the original water pipe that went to the metal water pipe there that went to the big cabin, and the black pipe is one we've added to go to the little cabin. And you can see where we cut through the land, dug a trench and fed it down to the smaller cabin. Because of the extreme colds here, you've got to dig down at least a metre to keep the pipe away from the frost. But from this well, there is also a pipe, a waste pipe to the gravel hole, and a drinking water pipe that goes to the cabin underground, and I'll show you those inside the cabin. So a little look around the garden. You get these ginormous rocks. Once upon a time this whole place was sort of glacier bed, and that is a giant rock here, probably about 4 foot round. One of the main wood sheds, and behind it is a smaller shed. A quick look inside there. So a little look around. There's old window frames, bits of old roof toppings, a really old television, and a lovely couple of doors as well. I'll walk you around to the main shed now. So this is the main wood shed. We just come from the back of there. As you can see, it's leaning quite a lot. It was always leaning when we first saw it, and continues to lean. I do need to think about straightening that out. I'll show you around inside these. So inside this one, there's some logs that I cut down ready for splitting, and below it some tree trunks. When we run in the drainage system, we cut down about 6 trees, so I've chopped those into lengths ready for replenishing our firewood. The second part of this building is just a little storage shed. There's all sorts of bits and bobs in there. I think that might have been the original water pump, and there's a barbecue and little things left over. There's the outhouse. There's a nice big shed here, the garage. On the side is like an open wood store, and there's some really good wood there. I'm not sure how long that's been there, probably a long time. It's a bit of a dumping ground here. I've got my water system, emergency water backup over there, pipe and a pump, submersible pump. There's some more old windows. There's a lawnmower, push lawnmower, some garden furniture, and a lot of old flooring. But again, this has been probably standing for at least 30 years, still in really good condition. What you find, today is a glorious day, early July. It's probably about 25 degrees. There's very little soil here. So there's looking back at the shed, the main shed, looking around the garden, the well, the storage, the wastewater's there. This is another view of the house. You can see the garden. When we arrived, we mowed the lawn. And it's virtually 24 hours a day daylight at the moment. I imagine at the 21st of June, it's really quite bright in the middle of the night. What I'll do is I'll just walk you around the cabin and then we'll go in and have a look inside. So you can see this end elevation of the cabin been partly stripped of the cladding on the outside, and you can see the really old thick logs underneath. So what they do is they clad it and weatherproof it. No, I don't think it's insulated at all, and then cover it in cladding. So that's what we're going to do. We need to probably remove all of this and replace it all. All the windows are intact, apart from the one around the back that's fell out, but still weatherproof. They all need probably removing and rubbing down. This is the weatherproofing material that goes underneath. Again, this one has had all of its cladding removed, probably many years ago. So a little walk around the side. You can see this was probably an old garden. There's some plant boxes and things there. We've left, where flowers are grown, we've left them. See this window, they were still in pretty good shape, really. I'm sure if they're rubbed down and painted, they'll be almost as good as new. So this is again the front of the house. We've tested the chimney's good, the roof's good, some of the guttering's coming off a little bit, and this is the main porch. So Ikibo is the name that was given to the cabin by the previous owners, so we're keeping that. And I'll walk you inside the cabin now. So coming in the main door, we've got this sort of big porch area, and there's two doors going off it into the cabin rooms, and a door to the side. I'll show you through each of those. I think it used to be an old fireplace. Looks like a chimney there, going down to this big sort of storage cupboard. We would like to put some sort of mini log burner in there to warm this porch up if we're here in the winter. So going through the door on the left, you walk into the main living room, which is huge, sort of 24 by about 18 foot. This settee was left here, huge old leather corner settee. And this settee we bought from a Loppis for 80 quid, and it's enormous. It could easily sit 5. We had to get borrow a trailer to bring it back. And the sort of main feature of this room is this beautiful fireplace, which has got a really small fire. And after looking it up, it takes about 24 hours to get it warm. You just keep stacking that and loading it. And it's all set within a big filled with concrete, with chimneys going through it, and a great big concrete block behind it all the way up to the roof, and that acts as a giant heat sink. So I think once you've got them going, you just keep loading it every few hours, and that'll generate the heat. And bearing in mind, this was a school, and one time children would go to school in down to about -30, -40. So this was their only source of heat throughout this room. Back to the porch. I'll go through the door on the right. you go into a kitchen. So this is quite a big kitchen. There's the wood burning stove. This cabin has got 3-phase electricity, so it had a electric cooker plugged in as well. So if we ever got the electrics fully turned back on, you've got 3 phases of 16 amps, so you can run quite a lot electrically within this building. So a little look around. There's not original, but once upon a time some electric radiators were fitted in here. And there's also this hole in the ground, this hatch. So I'll open that up and show you inside. So we did set up a temperature maximum minimum over the time we were away, but it didn't work. But it's generally about 6 or 7 degrees cooler. I will go down these steps there. They don't look very safe, but they are okay. And under here is what's called a root cellar or a potato cellar. And it's just been dug out under the property, lined with wood. And you can see there's the water pipe coming in, and we've put an end on that to seal it. We have stored paint and things down here. And this grey pipe is the waste pipe going to the concrete gravel trap that's in the garden. So I made it out alive. The back of the kitchen is a small room. Not very big, probably 10 by 10. We think that was used as a bedroom once upon a time. And there's this small hallway here. And another one of these beautiful doors that go back into the main living room. So now I'll give you a tour round the upstairs. So back to the little front hall, and there's this door here. If we go through here, there's a little cupboard, but inside of it are stairs. And they're very steep, but I'm going to go up them. See where a bird has made a hole there. If I go up, you can see the main electric box that run the whole cabin. Looking around, it's like a lower porch. This is the window you can see from the front of the cabin. Another hole over there where birds got in. Various things were left behind, including this old rocking horse. And generally it's been used as a bit of loft storage. If I get through here, which is a little bit low as you walk in, this is the great big concrete heat sink and chimney, which will store the heat. And this is the loft. You can stand up in it. It's very big. Whole length of the house, so it's probably 30 odd foot long, maybe usable 15 foot wide, obviously with this big concrete pillar in the middle. One of our plans is to have a stairs coming up here, a gap through here, and maybe 2 big bedrooms with windows at the end. One end of has got this door that goes out into the garden, so we could easily convert that to a window. Because everything's wood, it's hard work cutting the wood, but it's everything's manageable and possible. So we'll go back down now and look from above. It's very warm up here. It's probably in the 30s up in the loft. So I look back at the cabin. So this probably gives you an idea of what you can get for this sort of money. I'm not sure if we're underpaid or overpaid, but we bought it for the water supply, so certainly a bargain for us. We're in the very north of Sweden, or not the very north, we're in Vasterbotten. There's quite a bit above us. We are just into Lapland. it's a long way. When you drive from the UK and you get to the Swedish border, you are halfway, so there's another half of the journey, but the roads are wonderful. This sort of cabin, to keep it running, you have to pay council tax, but you only pay a quarter because it's classed as summer cabin, and that's about £150 a year. There's a property tax, which is probably £20 a year. It's really low, probably less than that, and I think that's payable actually every 2 years. If you wanted the electric connected, it can get quite expensive. I think one month service fees are around £40 to £50, and you have to sign up for at least a year. You can't pull out of it. If you do cancel, you can't rejoin for at least a year. So I think we got lots of plans for this cabin, to make it a guest cabin and one we could use as well. And we're looking at probably over the next 3 or 4 years doing this in our 3 monthly spells when we're out here. We're looking to go off grid. But if you were looking for something rural, getting away from it all, but still near a road and accessible, this is an example of what you can get for the money in northern Sweden. It's a beautiful part of the world and highly recommend. So I hope anybody's found this interesting. It gives you a little guide to what you can get in northern Sweden. Beautiful part of the world. Thanks everybody for watching, subscribing and liking our videos. We will be back soon with some projects that we've been doing and a look around this area as well. Definitely want to show you the river and hopefully catch fish on camera. That's the plan.